Hello, my name is Scott Watanabe. This is my PowerPoint presentation on the quality of character. So on this first slide, you'll see a picture of the Golden State Warriors. Now, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? NBA champions, talented roster, one of probably the best, or one of the best in all of history. Dominance. Now ask yourself, how did they get to that position? How did they get to the top? You can say coaching. You can say just pure talent. You wouldn't be wrong. If you scratch under that surface and look a little deeper, you'll find the real reason. And that reason is selfless or selflessness. Okay. Now, what does it mean to be selfless? Which is the topic of today's presentation. Selfless is defined as being concerned with the needs and the wishes and wants of others over one's own. To be selfless is to think less of others, or less of yourself, and more of others. Is to give without any look or any wish for personal gain. Okay? And the picture I have on this slide says it all to me. Now, this is Colonel Eric Kale. He is an Army Field Artillery officer, a war veteran, and a course director of military leadership at West Point. And he wrote a 6-part article for the Washington Post about characteristics of a leader. And one of those characteristics was selfless. To be an effective leader, you must be selfless. Now, we as coaches, how does that affect us? Now, I believe that coaches are both leaders and teachers. So, as a leader, as a teacher, we are tasked with molding young minds to be effective, productive, and positive members of society. And we as coaches do this through sport. Now, there's a part in the book, Season for Life, where Coach Biff asks his players, what is our job? On behalf of himself and the coaches. And the boys yelled back, to love us. And he believed, or Coach Biff believed, that to run a successful program, that the coach must love his players. Now, the only way we can be effective and influence our athletes is by being selfless. It's by giving everything we have to them, giving our all. Okay? We show them that we care and show that we love them. Now, here's a poem or a little saying from Sadhu Vaswani, who was an Indian educationist. True love is selfless. It is prepared to sacrifice. That is a great way to show what selflessness and how selfless relates to love. Now, one characteristic that stands out amongst all championship teams and all successful players and teams is selflessness. Selflessness is an important ingredient to team harmony. And without this one character trait, there's no way there'll be individual success. Okay? The most successful teams, either in sports or outside of sports, work together. And it is well known that it is not the best team that always wins, but the team that works best together that always wins. And that has to do with selfless. So there's another part in the book, Season of Life, where head coach Biff asks the players, what is their job? And the players reply back, to love each other. Coach Biff believed that for him to run a successful program and for his teams and players to be successful, they must love each other. Again, referring to love and selflessness. So love is sacrifice, and selfless is to love. Now we'll go back to the Golden State Warriors and how this selfless relates to players. Two players, Andre Iguodala and David Lee, both career starters, both all-stars, traded to Golden State. What happens after they came to Golden State? There was selfless sacrifice for the betterment of the team. They both came off the bench. Both became role players. But they set aside their egos and everything else they had, like they came with, and became role players for the betterment of the team. So what was the result of that? NBA champions. So when players sacrifice themselves for the team, they'll find success. There's something from the Bible. Greater love has no one than this, that he laid down his life for his friends. John 15:16. Great definition of selflessness. Now, why the idea of selfless? Why did I want to talk about that? I wanted to bring it to the forefront to let everybody know about selfless. Selflessness is often an overlooked key to happiness and fulfillment. So, usually when you think of selflessness, the reason people kind of overlook that is because, it runs contrary to the idea of happiness and fulfillment, to be selfless. Here's a little something from the poet Madeline Bridges. Then give to the world the best you have, and the best will come back to you. I think she had a great grasp on the ideas of the intangibles that come with being selfless. And if you're selfless, and we teach our players to be selfless, our athletes, you'll live a fruitful life. Here's just another something from Albert Einstein, one of the greatest philosophers, scientists, and lecturers in all of humankind. He stated that only a life lived with for others is a life worth living. Who am I to argue with Albert Einstein? And so here's one last thing. Also came from the book Season of Life. Coach Biff believed that the way his players can make the most impact on this world is by asking one simple question. What can I do for you? What can I do for you? And so I leave you with that, and to answer that question for yourself. Thank you very much.